All right. Okay, let's do this. Give me 3 seconds.
I did. I literally did. I literally said three,
Three,
two, one.
2, 1.
Okay.
Okay, guys, give me 3 seconds.
Welcome back to another episode of the Boolin podcast, where we talk about random shit that you might like. On today's episode, we have ImaDrum, one of my favorite content creator on Twitch, because I usually don't watch too many lurkers on Twitch. I usually watch drums and other content creators. I'm telling you, he's one of the top creators for old school RuneScape. Even on YouTube, his YouTube content is like next level. Go check him out whenever you can. But I want you to introduce yourself, Drum.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Super kind of you. And I'm just glad that you enjoy the videos. That's all I wanted to do when starting, making videos or whatever. I just wanted people to enjoy it for 10 minutes out of the day. But no, I'm Drum. Most people just call me Drum or just ImaDrum. I've been playing RuneScape for like literally 20 years. My name's Rob. Most people just call me Rob or Robert. So that's my name. Most people just call me Drum either way. I don't know how much info you want on me, like in real life kind of thing versus YouTube and gaming and all that kind of stuff. I'm 31. So yeah, I've been around gaming and YouTube for a long time. Gaming since as far back as like GoldenEye 007 or even Oregon Trail, even way before that, getting into gaming. But YouTube, I've been around since like 2007, 2006. I didn't start making videos until about 2008. And I wanted to get into like the Halo 2, Halo 3 montages back then. But then I wasn't that good. So my montages wouldn't have been good. So I was like, all right, RuneScape it is. And then I just started making RuneScape videos back on a different channel from ImaDrum. It was called Drummer Guy 59. I didn't do the kind of content that I do now. Now I kind of do like progress videos, pet hunting, clue scroll related stuff. And back then it was just all comedy skits, funny, song parodies, just, things to get people to laugh, machinimas, that kind of thing. And now, since from 2008 to, now, at least for RuneScape, it's more account progression kind of stuff. Like the content kind of shifted. But other than that, I've been around YouTube gaming RuneScape for quite a long time. I play other games than RuneScape, I promise.
I actually have a question because you kind of already brought it up, but so I think in like one of your streams, or it might have been like Tasty talking about you. I don't remember because but someone said, I don't know if this is true. I might be misremembering,
Yeah.
but someone said like you were one of like the OG RuneScape creators for YouTube. Is that true? And can you explain a bit more?
I would say it was like partially true because like back then, I don't know. I've never been the kind of person that's like, yeah, I have this many subscribers on YouTube. Like that doesn't mean anything to me. It's just like I just want people to enjoy the videos. That's all there is. But I would say that's partly true, mainly just because like on the old channel I have, obviously the subs have dropped severely since then. Since I basically just abandoned the channel, mainly because of copyright issues. As YouTube got more popular and known, the music industry, and I did a lot of song parodies or just use songs in videos, and just like more than half my videos got copyright claimed, blocked, copyright strikes on the channel. So I'm just like, okay, I need to abandon that if I want to continue doing YouTube. And I took a break from YouTube for quite a while too. But back then, back early 2008 to about 2011 was when I was like more active, or beginning to be like super active with RuneScape content creation back then. And I knew some of the top guys back then, like Tanoob Show would be like one of the main ones that most people would recognize. I was in some of his videos. He would help me in mine. Same thing with a lot of content creators. And for those of you, I don't know who plays, except for Congruence, who plays RuneScape now, but the friends chat in games, even if you turn like your PM on in game, like for the content creators, even now it happens. But I would turn on my PM and just instantly get spammed with people just saying hi, that kind of stuff. They would fill up my chat just to talk and see me in game. They would literally stop me to be like, hey, yo, can I get a screenshot or whatever? But I think it was just because like I was doing something different then that no one else was really doing. And the thing that got me popular then or more known was because I was doing RuneScape music video song parodies of popular songs. So like for an example, I think it's pretty funny. You know the song like "My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the
Oh
Yard."
my
This,
god.
this was
Oh,
probably
no.
the one that was most known and got me like just known throughout the entire community or whatever. There was an update in the game called God Wars Dungeons, and basically just introduced new items in the game from bosses or whatever. And I did that song as a parody, and I just called it "My God Sword Brings All the Noobs to the Yard," and I just did a whole song parody of it. People loved it. My singing was awful, but that was also part of the gimmick. And then I just did multiple song parodies and then just skits and all that kind of stuff. And then back in 2010, they or Jagex, you know, the creators of RuneScape, did a competition called the Golden Gnomes, and they held their first in real life event, like a Comic Con kind of thing, but just for RuneScape players, called RuneFest. And I ended up being one of the first winners of that. There was like 5, 6 different categories, and I was the winner for the Machinima short story category. And so that got my name out there a little bit more as well. And then literally like maybe like a year after that, 2011 is when the content really started to shift and change from funny haha machinima short stories, whatever, skits, into account progressions where people would make a new account, level 3s, level up, go to bosses and all that kind of stuff. And that's when the content kind of shifted, and the content that I was doing started to die out. And you saw basically every big content creator from back then basically just kind of, you know, sizzle out kind of thing. And then the new content creators came in. But I would say, yeah, like back then, that's basically how I got known. And, you know, I was one of those people that would just get spammed upon login just because I think I had about 13,000 subscribers back then in like 2007, 2008. So it's pretty big for RuneScape category, at least for YouTube. So yeah, it was pretty fun overall.
I know
You're a
that
pretty cool dude.
talking about like the origins and stuff like that, I always wonder where did the "I am a drum" came from, and was there any inspiration behind it?
Honestly, I couldn't think of a good name. I've always had the name like Drum in my name. Like even my RuneScape character name is Drum now. It wasn't always Drum. But like even when I was like Xbox Live, my name was Drummer Guy 59. That's where the YouTube channel came from, because I wanted to make the Halo 2 montages is when I wanted to start making videos, and that didn't happen, so I just kept it and I just kept Drum in the name. And I couldn't think of another name after abandoning the Drummer Guy 59 channel on YouTube, and I was just like, I forgot how it happened. I was just in a call with some friends, and I was just like, I'm a drum. I was like, okay, that's it. Like, I don't know how it came. It just happened. There's no meaning behind it. I just wanted the name. I just wanted the word like drum in the name, and then I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh wait, it's I am a drum.
Uh,
I am a drum.
Like I'm a
Or
drum.
I
A
am
lot
a
of people
drum
say I am a drum too, but it kind of works both ways if you put
because
that, apostrophe. or
they
whatever.
all make fun of me because I say it wrong all the time.
Cause you say everything wrong, dude.
Says
I'm just like
iDrums.
I don't know how to say it, or I don't know, because to be honest, this is like one of the first times hearing from you. I don't get. My only game that I started with was Call of Duty. I didn't know anything about RuneScape. So once I got hanging out with Chris and Dylan, we started talking more about RuneScape and all these MMOs that I didn't know about. So that from there I got to know a little bit about you.
Yeah.
They still make fun of me for it. So.
Yeah, no worries. You just say drum or Rob or whatever. Most people, like 99% of people, just call me drum anyway. So as long as your sentence
drum,
includes the word
we're
drum,
cool
I'm
like that.
listening.
So like, what happened to all your subscribers? Like, why did you take a break? Or like, did you take a break, or did you just like lose subscribers?
It was kind of like a break, and I was like also losing subscribers just because like during the shift of people, like everyone liking RuneScape music videos, short stories, skits, like comedy stuff, right? There were like 5-minute top videos all the time of just short, let's get people to laugh in whatever story we want to make up in the game. And then it turned into 20, 30-minute videos of people leveling their skills, fighting bosses, that kind of stuff. Like account progression is what we call it.
Yeah.
And when that actually started to take over, it's just like a kind of like a natural thing where people were just done with our kind of content, my kind of content, and just going over to someone else. They were tired of seeing the uploads that I was doing and going to that. But that was just like a natural kind of thing when the shift was changing. And then, you know, just like in real life kind of thing, just getting busy with work and all that kind of stuff, I started traveling for work. And so I was like, okay, you know, I can't keep it up. And, you know, I just took a break. And then I came back and just, you know, started to do different kind of stuff. I didn't want to do account, like, I actually hated account progression kind of videos, but that kind of makes sense. Like, everyone that was doing my kind of content, we were all the same. Like, we all hated it. It's like, why do we want to watch someone get to 10 fire making or 50 fire making or 50 cooking or whatever it is? Like, I don't want to see that 50 times. And then just gradually over time, it's just kind of like, if we wanted to make videos, we had to like force ourselves to kind of do it, but we had to just find our own kind of like styles to make it interesting for us, so with that way we can at least make it somewhat interesting to people, and make it different. But it's just one of those natural things. But like the biggest reason why I also left the other channel is just because all those copyrights just started adding up on the channel since YouTube started getting bigger and bigger, and I wanted to start fresh on an account that didn't have any issues whatsoever, just in case it got monetized, or if I wanted to go further with it, or if it actually got to the point where it's actually getting pretty big or something like that. I just wanted to alleviate all from that, just not have it as an issue at all.
Right.
Do you do YouTube full time or do you do it part time?
Technically, I guess I'm doing it like acting like it's full time. Right now it's more part time. I'd say like it's different per content creator, because like the way they, you know, you get paid, you put ads on the video. The more popular creators get sponsorships, which I don't have, kind of thing. So I was just like relying on the monetization of putting ads on videos, which is like, it's gotten better over time for sure. Like over the last year, it's just changed drastically more than I thought it would. But it's not enough to even be close to full time. But I put in the full time hours in order to potentially make it full time one day. My kind of like thought process on it is like, I need to put full time hours on it, as much as possible, or at least do as much as I can to put in a lot of work now. That way it could potentially be easier later on if it turns into a thing.
Nice. And then that's with streaming as well. Streaming is part time as well.
Yeah.
Putting that full
Yeah.
time. That's awesome.
Yeah, I still stream like 5 days a week, but I only go for like 3 to 4 hours. Full time would be, you know, normal kind of like 9 to 5 kind of thing. You put in your 8 hours of work as like a normal quote unquote kind of job. But you know, I plan on doing more of everything if it turns into something. You know what I mean?
That's
But
awesome.
yeah.
Yo, by the way, I just want to mention this. Congrats on your Hydra pet.
Oh yeah.
It's like I got into back to the stream and all I hear is like, I got my Hydra pet. I was like, what? I
Yeah.
understand.
I'm so sad I missed that. I saw it in the
Nobody
clan
told me at
chat, but I
all.
missed the stream.
I was just hoping for the boss to drop food because I wanted to last longer, and it got the pet. I was like, I guess I'm done.
Talking about pets, but like I just want to know, how long have you been grinding for all the pets? Because I know one of your goals is to get all the pets in RuneScape.
Yeah.
How long have you? When did you start your journey, and how is it going so far? Because I'm not keeping up that much with it because I don't know too much about RuneScape, but I kind of want to know the story behind it.
To be honest, like I haven't fully started yet. That's the honest answer, because we're like, pet hunting, you know, for, you know, those that don't know, RuneScape can be such a tedious process. There are people who get lucky and go to a boss or whatever it is, spend 5-10 minutes there and get the pet in the first couple kills, and then there are people in the game that will spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years before they get one. It's just all it depends on how much you play, depends on how many hours you put in, depends on how good your account is, and most importantly, it depends on your luck. RNG factor is huge. But yeah, no, I haven't really actually started full time kind of like pet hunting, because when I started my YouTube, like my current one, I used to do like variety gaming on this channel before I started RuneScape specifically last year. And I started an account progression kind of thing, which I didn't want to do, like I said earlier, but I had to find a way to make it interesting to me. And it was basically a buildup of about 8 months to get my account to the point where I can actually do my first kind of pet grind, which was for the Bloodhound pet, which you get from clue scrolls in the game. And if you don't know, clue scrolls is just like one of those kind of like miscellaneous activities in the game. You kill bosses, you do something, and you have a random chance at getting a clue scroll, which is like basically you go on a treasure hunt across the game. It gives you hints. There's a certain amount of steps you do. You go find a chest in the ground or whatever, and you open it and you get a random amount of loot. And so there's multiple tiers, and to get this specific pet from clues, it's from the master tier of clue, which is the highest one, which you could only get the master clues from lower tiered clue caskets. So just kind of like to try and summarize it, I did clues all day, every day, not every day, but all day when I was able to play or whatever for about 6 months until I got the pet.
And
And it took quite a while.
yeah, by the way, like the master clues can take like 30 minutes to an hour, like each.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
sometimes.
yeah, the more you do them, the more you get used to like where they are. But even then, like the steps that it tells you to go do, you know, it has high requirements where whether you have to have a high level of a skill to complete, or you have to have a high level quest done, or you just have to be able to, you know, kill a boss specifically to get to, you know, where the clue is or whatever. But yeah, it can take some time. The better you get at it, the more you do, the shorter that time comes. But it's still quite a long time to get those completed.
And then weren't you trying to do like hard clues to get the masters? So like it was even more time.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
insane.
So I did I I did about 10,000 total clues, not all hard clues. I did 5,000 medium clues, and just to kind of like also give a perspective of it, medium clues when you open those have a 1 in 30 chance to give you a master clue. And then I did 5,000 hard clues, which have a 1 in 15 chance to get a master clue from those because it's a higher tier, so better chance. And then I saved up 500 master caskets until I started opening them to get the pet. So yeah, it takes a while. Like for medium clues, I could do like 20 to 25 of those per hour. Hard clues, I can get, you know, about 10, 15 per hour, depending on RNG and how fast I was going and how much I was paying attention to. And then master clues is just like, it's a whole other thing. You get them and it takes a while to complete. And sometimes you go dry. You can open up hundreds of caskets, lower tiered caskets, and not get a master clue, or you can open them back to back and get several in a row. But you know, it would take me like upwards of an hour if I got really lucky to do like 3-4 master clues. If that, just kind of depends. But yeah, it was quite the grind.
So I have one question, and I've been asking around because I just found out. You can make fun of me. That there's a difference between, or old school RuneScape is a different game from RuneScape. What is the difference between them, and like which one is better? Because I've heard some people say,
Ooh.
"Oh, the just RuneScape is good. Oh, the old school RuneScape is better." And what else what can you tell me? Because I'm not into those types of games. Well, I haven't tried a lot of those games. What is it? Something that you could tell me that you could like get me hyped up to try the game?
Well, I've played both. I played RuneScape 3, which is what we call it now, just RS3, or Evolution of Combat is what it's called. And there's old school RuneScape, which is the 2007 version of the game that was re-released after popular demand and vote from the community to bring it back in 2013. I will say though, at the beginning of old school RuneScape being re-released back in 2013, it was highly more popular than the Evolution of Combat. Evolution of Combat, you can kind of base it off of, you know, like a different kind of MMO, like WoW, for an example, is a good kind of comparison. You have all those hotkeys set, you have those action bar and everything like that. It's a whole other different combat system, which a vast majority of the player base did not like, which is why they brought back the 2007 version of the game in 2013. Because I think it was, I mean, I could be wrong with the dates. I think it was like within about 3 months of Evolution of Combat, RS3 becoming a thing, where they just started seeing a huge decrease in the amount of players, and they had to do something to bring people back. And then they brought back, 2007 version of the game, instantly became like an overnight kind of sensation, bringing people back into the game. I will say though, there are positive things about both games. I recommend you giving them both a shot. I'm not one of those players that's like, oh, old school is better because I played it kind of thing. Because there is a whole argument between, it's gotten better over the years from when I started playing, but it used to be like old school RuneScape players would just talk trash about RS3 endlessly, day in, day out. Any forum thread you could find online, every YouTube video that you could find, just constant war. Reddit as well. And it's just like, it was like 99% people were in favor of old school RuneScape, and then the 1% on RS3. But now it's gotten to the point where RS3 is actually getting, I dare say, a bit better in terms of certain aspects of the game. When I say that, it like in-game content, when you think of in-game content for both styles of the game, RuneScape 3 has more to offer. Old school RuneScape is falling behind. They're just not releasing updates as often. The in-game players are getting frustrated. Like, to kind of put it into perspective, I think in the last 3 years we got one major in-game update, maybe two. We got one boss into the game, which was the Nightmare, and when you don't have that many updates, when something's finally released that's new,
Yeah.
it's basically done and over within about 3 months, and that's being generous. Because when they release in-game content, only the in-game players are doing it, and the in-game players have best in slot gear, all weapons, best in slot, most expensive gear, maxed out stats, and they're over and done with it very quickly. And then you have the early game, mid game players that are they're not there yet, but the in-game players is where the kind of issue is starting to pile up on. And from my point of view, at least from what I've seen, especially being part of the game for 20 years. But yeah, no, RuneScape 3 definitely has a lot to offer in terms of in-game content for you, for players or whatever. I will say though, the main reason I stopped playing RS3 was because of the microtransactions. They really, when they introduced, I forgot what year it was. They called it Squeal of Fortune at first, and then they changed it to Treasure Hunter Keys, I believe is what it's called now. And basically they have a promotion almost daily. You log in, it's just like a promotion in your face, and essentially you can pay if you have a lot of money to spend, you can max out your account in a couple days. And so over time, like when old school RuneScape was released, I still stayed with RS3 because I was in the mindset of like, I spent all these years maxing out my account, I don't want to start over. Because when they released the old school RuneScape, everyone started from level 1 at the beginning, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And so I stayed for a couple years longer, and then it's just like the microtransactions just got worse and worse. People who had way less game time than me were passing me up just because they were buying these promotions, which is basically they're giving you experience lamps. They're giving you hundreds of millions of gold just from logging in, spending money, and people with a credit card can pass you up, and it just made me feel like my accomplishments in the game didn't mean anything anymore. So I made the switch. And instantly, like within the first month, I was like, oh man, I should have done this sooner. But I'm also getting to the point where I'm at the end game. There's still a lot of goals that I want to achieve, but I'm also starting to see the end game portion of old school RuneScape, and I'm seeing the frustrations from the people who have been maxed out for several years now in old school RuneScape, and there's just no new content being added to the game for in-game players at the rate of RS3 is bringing them into the game. And we've actually seen a big shift of multiple big content creators from old school RuneScape going to RS3 now. But the way that they're bypassing the microtransaction portion of it is that they're just creating Ironman accounts, which basically you can't trade anyone, can't go to the Grand Exchange to buy and sell items from other players. You can't participate in any kind of microtransactions because it just blocks Ironman from doing so, and that's how they're getting past it. But the content is there if you look past the microtransactions. So I mean, I recommend give both game modes a try. There's something there for everyone. Each game is very different from the other, but I wouldn't say they're both bad. They've both got their issues, but they both offer something to different players.
Actually, about that, so I've had like a lot of friends try RuneScape. Like for example, Chris and Michael both tried OSRS. And then I also had like my brother, and then I had like a few other people. But like almost every single one of them either like burns out or ends up like just hating it. I feel like I'm kind of the only one that like actually likes it. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know why I like it. So
I understand what you mean.
so well, that's actually my question, because so like you've been playing the game for like a long time, and you've seen like all the different types of like people we've had like in our community. So like, do you know like why? This is a two-parter. So do you know like why people like this game and like keep coming back? And then do you also know like why it's so hard to like start on this game and like keep playing it as like a new player?
Yeah, I can definitely see both sides. Like, it's really hard for like new players to get in. It like, I mean, when you go into any game, it's not just RuneScape or old school RuneScape or RS3. When you get into a new game, it can be tough because you don't know anything about it. RuneScape specifically, though, as we know, it's a very tedious, monotonous game. It takes quite a long time, many hours. It's not even several hours. It's not dozens of hours. It could be hundreds of hours before you can get past the early game. You know what I mean? Because like, I mean, training skills for one, especially starting out, you're getting the lowest XP rates per hour. And if new players coming into the game, if they can't spend 10 hours a day playing the game every day, and they can only let's say just like an hour a day, right? And that's not even 7 days a week, but we can assume 7 days a week. That's 7 hours a week. You haven't gotten far. You just haven't. So like
It's
when
very
I like,
grindy, right?
oh yeah, it's
Very
grindy. It's very but I mean, like getting to the like mid game, I would say takes like at least, I don't know, base 50, 60 stats. That's kind of like very early mid game, and just getting there, especially as a new player, especially if you're not a member, because membership opens up literally 99% of the rest of the game. Um, you're just getting the slowest absolute XP rates. You can spend hours and hours on there, and you've gained like 3 levels, especially if you don't know what you're doing. And I can see how when you look at the scope of things, you start Googling. It's like, oh, how long does it take to get to this level for me to do this? And then you don't have the best gear to kill monsters. You're too low level to kill monsters, or go train this thing. And you're looking at these XP rates online, because like, I mean, that's what I did when I started playing RuneScape, just Googling everything. Any game that I go to, I'll Google something to be like, what do I have to do to get this? How long does it take? And then, just kind of go from there. And RuneScape is just, everyone knows it's a grindy game. It can, like, just to get to where I am, I can actually look at it right now. Like, my game time, I'm almost maxed in game, and I've played over 200 days worth just to get here.
My God.
That's in-game time. That's not, since, account creation kind of thing. It's taken me over 200 days to get to where I'm at, and I'm not even maxed yet, but I will be maxed in a couple days. But just to kind of put that in perspective, to get maxed out at a very, I didn't even try to go as fast as I could. I did it the most relaxed way possible, but I still was able to put in a lot of hours. Like, I was working, I was playing RuneScape while I was at work before, you know what I mean? Because I had a desk job. But yeah, not a lot of people can spend hours a week, let alone spend 200 plus days trying to get to the end game, So that's just like where a lot of people just start. Like, a lot of new players kind of get stuck. And it's like, do I really want to spend all this time doing this on this one game? But then that kind of goes into like the next point is where, you get that like kind of satisfaction of playing this game, because it can be so long to get one single thing. But when you get it, it feels real fucking awesome to get something. It feels good, but it's just, it takes so long to get there, and it's never a guarantee that you'll get an item or a pet or whatever it is that you're going for. A 99. There are people who have played, I don't know how long people play per day, per week, or whatever, but I see so many people post on the subreddit for 07scape, and it's like, oh, I played 15 years and I got my first 99, and it's cooking. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people don't have a lot of time to, play this game, and that kind of just puts it in perspective as a new player. When you see those kinds of things and, start doing your research on, skills or to do something in the game, it really pushes people away from it. But when you really get into it and you have the opportunity to put in a lot of hours to get somewhere in the game, and then you accomplish something, it feels good. And so, that gets the people who push past the early game to keep coming back and playing, because it feels really good to get those drops. It's nice to see. People are always hyped up to see you get something, your friends, your clanmates. There's people who post on Reddit like, hey, I got this 99, and everyone's excited for it. You know what I mean? So it's just, the community is nice for the most part. There's different types of you got the bad apples in every game, every community out there.
PK
But
community.
yeah, yeah, a lot of people are pretty supportive. But it just, yeah, just getting into the game can be rough, but you know, it can be rewarding for, you know, gamers who can dedicate a shit ton of time playing the game.
I checked and it was like 7 months. This is the 200 days. It's around like 7 months.
Still want to play it,
That's
Andy?
insane.
And that was over
No,
that was
no.
over the course of maybe a little over 3 years for me to actually
Oh.
max. Yeah, there are people who can actually like make an account level 1 or level 3 is what you start off with technically, and can max within about 7 months from the moment they create their account because they're able to put in 16, 20 hours a day kind of thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
And yeah,
if we keep getting quarantined, I might as well, right?
that's what I said. Bro, I have like 500 hours in the game, and I'm still like, I'm only level 90 or like
Oh
89,
my
Yeah.
god.
and
I'm
I'm like, and I can't do like barely any of the things that these can do. Like a
There's
lot of
like
the
another
bosses
kinda
I can't do.
like a joke. It's kind of like a running joke, but you know, the maximum level you can reach in any given skill in the game is 99 in old school RuneScape.
Yeah.
And when you get to level 92, you're halfway
Half
to
of
99.
99.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the
So-
XP rubber bands, or not rubber
Yeah.
bands.
It's so
Yeah.
right there.
much.
Yeah. So Andy, like getting to 92 is like, let's say like 6 million XP. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
And then to get to 99,
You
it's
got to do it all over
like,
again.
yeah, another 6 million XP.
Although it's
Yo.
still gonna go faster because you have better methods.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The higher
equipment.
level you get, the
It's
more
still-
access you have to better training methods and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to know. You said 200 days, but what is that equivalent? Wait, I can just
And 2 hours is 4,800 hours. I looked into it.
4,800 hours.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of close there on
I
14.
could
I'm
have
kind of
maxed
there.
sooner, but
Chris.
like my clue scroll thing that I did for like my YouTube series and everything like that, that alone took me 6 months, and I was doing zero skilling throughout that time. Like, I'm
Wow.
definitely one of the players. I definitely am not an efficient player, by like any means. If I want to do something my way, that's like chill, relaxing, AFK, then that's what I do 100% of the time. And then you know, I don't know. I don't go as hard as the efficient part of the community goes.
I go pretty hard. I go fucking Iron Man mode, even though I'm not Iron Man.
Oh
Like
my
I went to motherload mine from level 30 to 70 something, and all the stuff that I mined I kept and I smelted it all.
Ooh.
So yeah,
I don't
Drum
understand why he does it.
Yo, Drum, like I'm literally just thinking about all the achievement I made in freaking 14, and I'm like, if I said this to Drum will make fun of me. Like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that like in no time. Like, why even complain about that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
There's some brands in the RuneScape that I hear people go on, and I really hope it doesn't happen to me. So
Oh my God.
So like I notice like you'll like stay at a boss for like what, like 1,000, like 500 kills or something like that, right?
I
Or is it
usually
like
do.
500?
I just grind it for 2 weeks, and then I switch bosses to keep variety going.
Yeah, but like I also noticed you did like fishing like all through like fishing trawler,
Yeah.
and like you just did like that like straight to 99. Like,
Yep.
how do you get through those grinds? Because like I'm trying to get to like that point where I like stick to one thing and just like get it to where I want it to go, but like I have like such a weak ADHD brain where I'm like, I gotta go boss. Like I gotta go do
Yeah.
this. And then I look at my account like 2 months later and I'm like, I've gotten 5 levels, but so
Yeah.
like so like how do you get through those grinds? Like how do you like stick to it?
My brain kind of works really differently here than most people that I've met in RuneScape. But basically, like once I set myself a goal, like you know, right now I'm going for maxing out. So my current skill that I'm training is thieving, right? I'll set a goal like, okay, I want 99. I find something that I want to do for one, regardless if it's the most XP per hour best method you could do or a chill AFK one, which I usually go for. and I basically just say, okay, don't stop until you're 99, because if I take breaks, I'm not gonna get there. And the sooner
Yeah.
I get there, I can start working on all the stuff that I actually want to work on. And so I'll send it. I'll sit there and I'll send it, and I'll do my PVM breaks every now and then when I started my new series on YouTube, and basically like when I stream, and I stream 5 days a week, not Tuesdays and Saturdays. And when I stream, those are my times for PVMing, and that's like a reward for me. So anytime that I'm not streaming, I'm like, okay, training, don't stop. Okay, stream time, finally a break, something I want to do. You know, let's go kill some bosses for 3-4 hours. Okay, stream's over, back to skilling. I just
Oh
have to
my
keep going
God.
until I'm there, because like once I'm maxed and I'm 99 and everything, I'm done. I don't have to look at those
Yeah.
skills ever again. And then I can
Yeah.
just
That's
only
what I
focus
want.
on the content that I want to do.
That's what I want
Won't
to do,
stop,
man.
can't stop.
Yeah, literally, that was me. Like, you can ask Chris, you can ask Andy and Dylan. Like, that was me for Final Fantasy 14. And you can even ask Jess. I was going for all the relic weapons on 14, plus going max level on everything. And all I focus on every day, 12 hours a day, just going over it. And I was literally telling myself, if I don't get to a max, there's nothing else. I need to get to max so I don't have to worry about nothing else. I need to get all the
Yep.
relic weapons so I don't have to worry about nothing else. And I just play and play and play and play. And I'd be telling Jess all my progress about it. And she goes like, damn, you crazy. You crazy. Why are you grinding too much? You should take a break. You're gonna reach burnout. I'm like, I'm enjoying this. Like what's it called? I'm enjoying I'm enjoying the hell out of this grind, because I know once I'm done with this 14 grind, I can play other games till the next expansion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're like in the same thought process there, because like in RuneScape, like I said, it's a grind of a game. And there's people who they're like, you know, they'll play years and not get a 99, and then you know I'm friends with some of these people, right? They're like, oh man, how do you get these 99s? And they're like, I train all day, and like I'll see them train for like an hour, and then they go bank stand and do nothing and talk to people, which is fine, right? It's fine. It's nice to have breaks and everything like that. This is an MMO. You go talk to people, you go play with others, bossing together, group stuff together. But then they have these goals that they don't work on ever, and it's like that's the reason you're not getting these 99s. Like if I'm on and I have a goal, I'm not like gonna stand around. I'll still talk to people. That's why I have like my friends chat, my clans chat. I'll still message people while I'm in game. You know, message people on Discord, talk to people on servers, things like that. But while I'm in game, I'm actively training so I can actually get to the goals that I want to get.
You really gotta love the game if you gotta do those grinds that you don't like.
Or you're
It's all right.
addicted.
Because yeah, or addicted. Because I know, like,
Same.
if there's not like I'm just like you. Like, if I put a goal, like, even though it probably sucks, like the beginning probably sucks,
Mhm.
I'll like fight through it just to get to it. But I have to love it, or like that end price, it has to be worth it.
Yeah. Like I definitely like RuneScape. I wouldn't say it's like number one, but it's like top three games for me. Like in terms of like game franchises, it's like top three for me. I mean, I got to put it in the top three since I've been playing it for 20 years. So,
You
but
gotta
yeah, no,
know.
I actually genuinely enjoy the game. There's a lot of things that I don't like about the game, but then there's a lot of things that I do like about the game. And the
Yeah.
fact that there's goals that I want to achieve that could potentially take years, it's gonna be a long grind for sure. But as long as you enjoy something, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like even for me, like Dylan hears it all the time, and I do shit on the game a lot. But it's not because I hate the game. It's just because I hate the grind.
Oh
Not
yeah, everyone shits on the game, even me.
yeah, like and I just sometimes I just can't find the will, I guess, to keep grinding or doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
But oh, never mind. I just
yeah. Like the
forgot my
best thing to
question.
do, like I said, like once I get a goal and like I start doing it, I'm not gonna stop doing it until I reach that goal. But not everyone likes that, right? You just gotta
Yeah.
find what you like, how you like to do it, how you want to do it, and just I always recommend people to set small goals at first, but also have those long-term goals to kind of like look forward to. But just go at your own pace, because RuneScape is one of those games that if you get burnt out, the burnout is strong with
Yeah.
RuneScape. So you just gotta go at your own pace.
So
Especially with MMO.
what is your other? I know you said RuneScape is one of your top three games. What are your other two?
Halo and Diablo.
Oh,
which are games I definitely plan on. I haven't figured out like what I'm gonna do like in terms of like YouTube content for them. I do want to do it. If I do that, I'm probably gonna make like a separate channel and direct people over to that for that variety content. But it's games that those are games I'm definitely gonna be streaming, and I've got like I basically have like a goal and a plan in mind for my current YouTube channel and my Twitch channel for like the next 6 to like 8 months of content already planned out, and how I'm gonna start transitioning into moving into variety content. Because like I love RuneScape, I don't plan on stopping playing it, but there are other games out there that I enjoy, and I definitely everyone needs those breaks now and then. I can't just stick to one game. But I have been playing RuneScape only for like 2 years, but that's just because there's no other games out there that I'm just like currently interested in playing, but those games are coming out soon.
What do you mean? Final Fantasy 14, the critically acclaimed, where you can play with me and Jess. What are you talking about? Playing?
I got like 2-3 hours in Final Fantasy like a few years back or something like that, but I can't do a big grind like RuneScape and another MMO at the same time.
That is true. That is true. I know that when I first started getting into your stream, it was like I bet Jess like, yo, we gotta get this guy into Final Fantasy 14, get him off RuneScape. We gotta get him to play Final Fantasy 14. She goes, I tried. Like I tried every method that
Honestly,
there is
she
to be on.
like tries like almost every day.
You know what? Props to Jess. Michael does it to me all the time, man. And the other day, because I played it a little bit, like I played it on the PlayStation and then on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I'm like, damn, like I should probably try it for a bit. And I'm like, no. And then every day he's always trying something. He's like, you trying to try it? And his friends, it was like a group of like 6 of them. They had a whole presentation on why I should play it.
Jesus.
They had like commercials playing it. They had a whole presentation, like slides and stuff like that of, this is why you should play. You should play. And then at the end, they were just like, are you going to play? I'm like, I don't think I have a choice. Like, I was forced. It was difficult.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, yeah, like, Final Fantasy, it's not a bad game for what I've seen. But with the goals that I have for, like, myself and, like, my channels and everything like that, I'm sticking to RuneScape for now and slowly branching out into variety, but I have to do it in a way that's like slow and eases my audience and the audience that I'm trying to build into variety. But right now it's just RuneScape focused, and just like Twitch and YouTube in general, you focus on one kind of content. The moment that you upload something different or stream something different, the views go from like where it is at normally and drops like 90%. And you have to have like a real, not just like a fan base or like just a general following, but you need a big dedicated audience that are just gonna like, they like you for you, not necessarily just for the content that you're putting out, but are willing to try and watch you try other kinds of games and try and doing other content, that kind of stuff. So I got like that's like part of like my next 6 to like 8 months plan, is to slowly ease Halo as an example into the my content kind of stuff. Like I already started doing it by like like in my Discord server and even in my streams. Every now and then I'm just like, who likes Halo? I'll just start a conversation and I'll just hope that someone talks about it, or Diablo for example, and then I get like 1 or 2 bites. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna talk about this for like the next 5 to 10 minutes, and if I can have like a conversation every single week leading up to the release of like Halo Infinite, no one's going to be shocked or surprised that I'm going to be playing Halo Infinite on stream, because they're going to be expecting it months prior, and then just slowly ease into that while also still maintaining a schedule of RuneScape content to keep the audience there for that, because they know I'm going to go back to it, and this is kind of like, okay, he's just playing for fun kind of thing.
This man is smart. This man is smart. This man is smart.
Wow, what a coincidence. We're playing Halo.
Like even like follow alerts as an example. I changed it. I might change it back. But for like a while, I don't know if any of you guys played like Diablo, for example, or know who Deckard Cain is, or have heard the phrase "stay a while and listen." But either way, it's like he's like a big character in Diablo. He's like the town, like the first one of the NPCs that you go to. He's in every town you talk to him, kind of thing. But either way, he has a phrase where it says "stay a while and listen." It's kind of like iconic in the Diablo community. And I put that as my follow alert. And though when someone follows, someone's like, "Is that Diablo?" And I'm like, "You're goddamn right, it's Diablo. Let's talk about that." You know what I mean? Like subliminal messaging to let people know that I'm going to be transitioning this kind of stuff.
It's hilarious.
One thing
Mark.
I know that I go into your stream is because of your personality and just like want to like pick your brain, and then as well, biggest thing as well, it's a goddamn music playlist. Like it's bang those music playlists. I'll be playing 14. I'll be playing other games. And I'm like listening to it, and I don't know. I'm like, yo, he's playing this song. What? Let's go. And then I'm just hearing. I'm like, yo, this is like background noise plus music. Amazing. Telling you, it's like.
And
Better
one of the
combination
things,
ever.
especially like with me, I've thought about this too, like the music playlist as well. Like for Twitch, you go to a lot of Twitch streams and they'll have like let's say they're playing, I don't know, trance music, right? And they're streaming like 6 hours, 6 hours of just only trance music. And I'm like, that's fine, right? Like I get in those moods, but not every stream. So I'm like, my stream playlist has like 15 different genres in there. It could be the same depending on the shuffle of Spotify or whatever, but it changes and it has multiple different genres. And that's just what I like. I don't want to listen to the same genre of music for, the entirety of the entire stream. And I just kind of sit there and I'm like, maybe other people don't like that either. And so far I've seen like 100%, kind of positive reaction to the playlist, because it's just not the same for hours on end, because you want people, like as a streamer, to sit there and watch you for your entire stream as much as possible. So you got to mix things up from not only the content that you're doing, how you're, talking to people, how you're reacting, all the way to, to the background noise. You know what I mean? That includes music. You wanted to change it up. And every now and then people are like, oh shit, I haven't heard this song in a while, blah, blah, blah. And, that kind of thing. So it helps with that. So it's like not pushy, but it's noticeable.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to people who want to start streaming?
God, there's a lot probably. This is something that I've researched too on YouTube, just like how to get into streaming, what to do, and everyone kind of vaguely says like the same thing, and it's mostly accurate, but it's every piece of advice that you hear is different per person. Like nothing's ever going to be the same, because every person, every individual is different personalities, different games that they're playing. There's a whole variety of different things. One thing I can say is be consistent. That one's pretty accurate across the board. Try and set a schedule. If you can only stream 1 day a week, make sure you're on time every time that day of the week. If you could do more days, then, just again, make sure that you have a schedule, let people know what the schedule is, and be on time so they know when you're live. That's definitely important. That goes for YouTube as well. Try and be consistent with that. Do something you enjoy. You hear that a lot too. You don't want to be following the crowd just because a new game is released and you want to play that game because everyone's going to be watching it. It's like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people watching it, but they're not going to be watching you, and that's just the reality of it. When you start streaming, just let's say like right now for Final Fantasy 14, you go to that category on Twitch, you got all the top people there, and it might take someone 5 minutes to scroll all the way down the list, which is not bad. So you want to start off with a game that you enjoy, not necessarily following the crowd of popular games or whatever, which if you like the game, go for it, right? As long as you're enjoying it, because like if you're not enjoying your time streaming, it's definitely going to rub off on people. You might be sitting there bored, not saying anything, whatever it is, fake reactions, people could spot that a mile away, and it'll just translate to the viewer kind of thing. I definitely recommend at least what I did, like with old school RuneScape. It's not popular, but it has a consistent 5,000 to 10,000 viewers every time I go to Twitch, and that kind of thing. When you compare it to like one of the best games to start out with is Stardew Valley. If you like that game, it's if you look at the Twitch page, it's got a lot of people following the category, but like the first person who's like has the most viewers, like 300, 400, something like that. Person ranked number 2 is down maybe about 100, and then it's easier to find you there. Another thing too, in terms of like wanting to be a Twitch streamer, you can't just be a Twitch streamer. You have to make content outside of that platform. Otherwise, the percentage of you being successful at being discovered is drastically lower than other people who are making content outside of, you know, Twitch. Like you have to, you know, find something, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, all that kind of stuff. So you just can't do one thing, because the only time you're discoverable on Twitch is when you're live. And Twitch's, you know, discoverability features are next to non-existent. And the last thing that you want to do is rely on luck, which luck is going to be a part of it the entire ride, you know, from where I'm at to where, you know, Asmongold is at with his viewers, right? It takes a certain amount of luck to get people to find you. But the more options that you have available for yourself on different platforms increases your discoverability rate higher than the people who are not doing anything else besides being live 1 to 2 hours a day, once a week or something like that. You're gonna find more success that way. But I think I kind of just went on a long tangent there.
You
No,
good?
Oh, it was
this is
good. It was good.
advice.
Yeah,
Good advice.
Yeah, another thing too is like research definitely helps. Like I researched the shit out of every RuneScape content creator that I could. I picked RuneScape mainly because I've been part of this community for 20 years, right? I know the community, I know the game, I know what people like, I know what they don't like, and I researched specific content creators that were, you know, the big names now. And I was like, okay, what's everyone doing? What's popular? Okay, what are people not doing, and what's still popular that people aren't doing? And so, you know, take advantage of that. So the big thing that got me noticed or discovered was clue scrolls. Everyone loves watching people open clue scrolls because the loot can be really, really good. Most of it's shitty, but it's that chance that it could be really good. But absolutely no one was doing it. There's a couple relatively mid-sized to big channels on YouTube that are doing clues, and there's literally one streamer on RuneScape that does clues. And I was like, okay, everyone loves clues. I know this because I see the views on these clue videos on YouTube. I see the viewers that this guy's getting live when he's doing clues, opening them specifically. And I'm like, okay, so what are they doing? And they're all doing the same thing. So how do I make it different? So the way that I did it, my first 2 videos are kind of like trying to ease into it and like, oh, let me find my spot. And then I figured out, or I kind of just stumbled upon opening up the caskets in the video to the beat of music, to whatever song that I played or found or whatever. And people love that shit. And so like everyone, like I said, no one likes doing clues in the game. Not a lot of people at least. But everyone, a large majority of people love watching people get rewards from it just to see what they can get. And so I took advantage of that, and I basically tried to take over the search engine. Like if you type in old school RuneScape and you type in clue, I wanted to be one of the first people there, because it's like not a lot of people are doing it, but people are watching mine because they like it, and then word of mouth spread kind of thing. And I just went in that direction, and it kind of just worked out for me. Luck was definitely a part of that, because the YouTube algorithm picked me up back in December of last year, and just like it took off, and then I just kept doing it, and just like I never saw like it slow down until I like finished my goal, and I haven't done it in a few months. But there's reasons for that, and I'm actually planning on bringing it back, but like I'm gonna double down on it. I basically teased everyone for about 6 months by not opening the highest tier clue casket, which is where you get the pet, right?
Oh my God.
Everyone knows master caskets. So I'm like, all right, I did all these clues. Here's all the master caskets. People are like, okay, cool, open them. I'm like, nope. And I teased them for 6 months.
The biggest blue balls ever, bro.
Exactly. I blue balled them, but it worked. And then when I streamed myself, I told people, I was like, okay, I'm going to open them when I hit 500 of them. And I told them that for 6 months straight. And so when I finally did it and I streamed it, I ended up getting #1 on RuneScape, streaming at the time, which was like over 3,000 viewers.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun though.
I remember that.
It was all planned. I wasn't expecting 3,000 or to be #1, but I was expecting a lot of people to be interested enough to potentially check me out. And at the same time, like every week I was posting my updates on Reddit and just getting people over there to my YouTube, to my Twitch. So it just kind of like is like a big full circle of just like, this guy's not opening his master caskets. No one does this. Like, as far as I'm aware, at least in terms of like content creators on Twitch and YouTube, I'm the one person who stacked the most master caskets, aside from the people who actually work on the game because they could just spawn them in. But as a player, I'm the one who's held on the longest. And then, like I said, you just blue ball. Everyone is like, fucking open the caskets. Like when are you, like every stream I was doing when I started to pick up and being more viewers on Twitch and YouTube or whatever, just every comment, even in game when I wasn't streaming or anything like that, people are like, when are you opening the caskets? Like it was just, I don't know these people. They're just finding me in game as I'm walking by and they're wondering when I'm going to do this one thing. And so, but it was like I did a lot of research and I'm still doing research to this day to plan out my content for like the next 6 to 8 months. And I'm basically going to do it again. I'm going to blue ball everyone for about 6 months or however long it takes me. And I'm hoping to like double everything from last time, but we'll see how it goes.
Congrats, man. Congrats on all your success.
Appreciate it.
Speaking of your videos though, like I'd say next to like I don't watch like every single OSRS
Yeah.
content creator, but like I'd say next to like Guns Chili, who by the way, for you guys who don't know, Guns Chili is like kind of known for like his editing. I'd say next to him, I'd say you have like the best editing out of like any other OSRS creator I've ever seen, at least.
Appreciate it.
So like when did you like start editing and how'd you like get into it?
Started like basically when I started my YouTube channel back in like 2008, my first YouTube channel or whatever. And I started with Sony Vegas.
Oh, let's go, the Sony
yeah.
Vegas boy.
But I kind of just like I wanted to make videos because I just wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to be part of the community more than just playing the game. And just kind of just started watching YouTube tutorial videos, tried to, just I would open Vegas and just kind of mess with things, try to figure things out, and just over time just it's basically just all self-taught. I didn't go to school for editing or anything like that, and I just kind of tried to figure things out on my own, and just I've been doing it for over 10 years now. But I mean, it's been fun to learn things. I enjoy editing. So I don't know, it's just been fun. It's been worth it. I've gotten some good things out of it.
Like who'd you use to learn? Like how like what videos did you use to learn? Because like I'm trying to, because I'm actually getting into editing.
Yeah.
I actually edit the podcast. And I'm like trying to edit like other stuff too. I'm trying to like start up a YouTube channel too. But like I've seen your editing. I'm like, how the fuck does he do that? Like,
Yeah.
I
My-
try to
my
like
way
look
of
up videos
finding-
for it, and I can't find anything. So like, how'd you like? Did you just like mess around
the
and like
way-
figure it out?
Yeah, that's kind of like half of it, but like the way that I would like try to figure out how to do something, like if I wanted to like figure out how to do a certain effect, like for example, I want to make my RuneScape character fly across the screen. I'll go to YouTube, Sony Vegas, how to make, picture fly or something like that. Well, I would look specifically for certain effects and just like over time kind of learn the basics as I went, watching these videos. So it's just like one effect at a time. If I wanted to do something, how to make it rain, how to make it snow, how to zoom in, zoom out. I would just do search things one at a time, then eventually just kind of just all the knowledge of just like the basics just kind of set in.
Yeah, I know that feeling when it comes to first starting editing, because I remember back in the day I wanted to be a YouTuber like most kids now these days wants to be a YouTuber. I had Sony Vegas Pro 13 I think or 14, I don't remember which version, but I was learning how to do all these kind of like AMVs, like anime music videos plus editing GTA funny moments, and I would spend hours on end just messing with the program and basically looking at YouTube videos like, okay, literally how you said it, how to make this thing do this on
Yeah.
Sony Vegas Pro 13. And it was just looking at the video, copying and pasting until everything starts settling in, like that habit of like, okay, I'm kind of understanding how everything works. So you talking about that just kind of like unlock a memory that from the past.
It's like one thing that people need to realize, especially with getting into videos, it's like I tell this to a couple friends every now and then who want to get into video editing and just making videos. Your first YouTube video will never be as good as your 10th, your 100th video, your 1000th video. As long as you're starting and getting content out there, you're going to improve over time. And I try to at least, like every video that I do, I try to at least improve on one thing and just add it up. So, but yeah,
Yes,
like
sir.
a lot of people are just like, I have a like, I have a cousin who wants to get into videos and all that kind of stuff, and not only is he trying to trying to struggle to figure out what kind of content he wants to create, but it's more so it's like, oh, how am I going to edit this? I don't know what to do. I want it to be good. I want it to be perfect. I want my first video to be perfect. Well, first of all, your 1000th video is not going to be perfect. Just
Yeah.
start. You'll
Yep.
find your editing style. You'll find the way that you
Yeah.
want to do things, but you just have to start, get it out there, and just improve over time.
I said that when we started this podcast, and I said it very clearly. Our first podcast is not going to be the best podcast, but I promise you, by the 50th, the 100th episode, this is going to be one of the best podcasts. And a lot of people, and the reason why I took so long to start a podcast, I wanted a whole studio, I wanted the perfect mics, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted perfect cameras. And then Chris was just like, "Oh, we can just do it on Discord and stuff like that." I was like, "Bet, perfect." The thing is, we have to start and then start progressing. We always trying to get this perfect image of how we want to do things, but we never started because we never get to that point of being perfect in our definition.
Yeah.
But if you start, your chances of getting that perfect definition gets higher percentage of you accomplishing that. You just got to start it. So it's a great
Yep.
message. Yeah.
Um, I actually have a question. It's a little off topic from this though, but I've been wanting to ask you this for a while, just because like I'm curious to on your thoughts. And we actually talked about this on one of the earlier podcasts, but the OSRS power creep issue. Do you think that like nerfing the blowpipe and putting the BOFA, like, do you think that like solved it, or do you think
No.
it could have been? You don't think it solved it?
No. The blowpipe nerf is good. I think it was good over time. I do think they were several years late
Right.
in doing it. Um, I mean, there's a lot of things that Jagex could and should do in order to fix a lot of issues. There's a lot of things wrong with old school RuneScape right now. Not even including just the power creep kind of thing, but just bots. There's no new content in the game. All the content that exists, there's just more items, more of those unique items being added into the game, and we don't have any way to like get rid of those. Because like I'm trying to figure out how to put it. So like like items devalue over time, right? But that's just gonna happen in any game. The longer that the content is released, the content is in the game, the lower the value is gonna go. But you can kind of like make it better. So like the first month the game was out, one person has this one item, most expensive item in the game. Now that thing's worth like a mil, maybe less. But that's because there was one item in the game before, and now there's a million of those items in the game now, with no system in place to help get rid of those. Like RuneScape 3 has a perfect kind of skill to combat this. They have a skill called Invention, which basically you have to sacrifice items, dismantle them, and destroy them in order to make another piece of gear a little bit more stronger. And they have that constant flow of just deleting items from the game naturally by just training the skill. And even after you've maxed out that skill, you're constantly doing it because you want to get different perks on items, all that kind of stuff. Old school RuneScape, we don't have anything. It's just the items are just being added into the game. They're not going away. The only time they kind of like go away is if, I guess someone dies, and if they don't get back to where they died in 15 minutes, then it gets deleted in the game. But like dying in old school RuneScape is, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Like you have plenty of time to get back to wherever you were. And so nothing's just getting deleted from the game. The best thing that old school RuneScape has is the dueling arena, and the I think it's a 1% transaction fee for all duels placed there to delete gold from the game, but it's just not enough. It does nothing. We have nothing in terms of like that kind of solves, like, it doesn't solve it, but it kind of helps with the gold issue into the game, but it does nothing for all the items into the game, all the gear and all the best in slot stuff. But everything is getting devalued. Like the twisted bow, for example, like 3 months ago, back in March when I got mine, it was it was like 1.1 billion gold, and now it's 780 mil. and it's literally the best bow in the game. But there's multiple reasons why it's going down. Like, that, and then, the Bofa got added into the game, which is very next to the Twisted Bow itself, and it even beats the Twisted Bow in certain areas too. So it's just that's why we're seeing the decrease in that. So it kind of helps, I guess, but I don't know, like power creep in general. I don't know what they can do to fix it at this point. I know they get a ton of suggestions from the player base or whatever, but one thing that the Jagex team does in terms of like for the old school RuneScape community is that they take their time trying to do things. And the biggest issue, in my opinion, is that the poll system, it was great. It's like the poll system is awesome, right? In theory. But
I know what you're going to say.
I guarantee you 99% or more of the player base doesn't understand how to make a game last long term.
Yep.
And so they're just like, oh, you're going to nerf this one thing. They vote no. And if it doesn't pass 75%, or if it does pass 75%, depending on where it goes, like they're listening to the player base more than they should. I wish they would just get rid of the poll system, honestly. Like keep it for, I guess a couple situations or scenarios, but not every decision needs to be dictated by the player base, because I'm not a game developer. I don't know how to make a game last another 20 years. Don't listen to me. I'm just gonna like vote in the moment kind of thing. It's like, oh no, I don't want this to be deleted or nerfed or something like that. But like that's another huge issue that's just causing a snowball effect in the game in general. It's just players don't know anything, and the team who's in charge of keeping the game alive is listening to them for every decision. And it's the poll system has definitely hurt the community, in my opinion, or not the community but the game, more so than it's helped it over the last several years.
Yeah, that's like exactly what we were talking. Like that's exactly how like the power creep issue like came up, because I think we were talking about like the relationship between like a community and like the developers. And I think like someone like said, I don't remember who, but that like the community, it might have been me actually, that like they need to listen to the community. But then like I also brought up the point that like sometimes listening to the community too much is bad, and I brought up the power creep issue, because if they literally just did that change unpolled right when the blowpipe came out, like it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But yeah, that's just you it's just really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I like the poll system, but I hate it at the same time. I would love it if they just got rid of it. They need more what they call integrity changes, or whatever they call it, where they just do an update without consulting the player base. They still gauge feedback, which is good. Not a lot of companies do the poll system. Not a lot of companies really listen to the feedback of the player base of their game. But Jagex takes it to a whole new level and literally listens to the player base as to what updates that they should do in the game, which is, it's like a double-edged sword. It can be good. Mostly it's not, especially with the way that things have been in the last couple of years. They got good intentions, obviously, but they just need to listen to players less. The amount of players in the in-game is far lower than the amount of people who are in the early game and mid game, and they're gonna overpopulate the votes severely. And a lot of people just in general, even in-game players, will think more short-term effects than long-term.
Right.
So usually by the end of the podcast, we like to do a mini game, and this mini game I am kind of like had a, like a I was like thinking, should we do Would You Rather again, or should we do something different? And I figured out like, okay, I've been watching some videos called Never Have I Ever. So I want to do a Never Have I Ever mini question game before we end this the podcast today. And I have around 8 questions today. So I want to start with the first one. Never have I ever stayed up playing games until the sun rose. Like pulling all night or just playing games all night long.
Bro,
Never.
I wouldn't be surprised if Drum has it. Like, with all them hours that he's put into RuneScape, there's no way.
Ooh, I've stayed up I think the most I've stayed up is like 2.5 days.
Yeah.
But I will say that I have not done that since I started playing old school RuneScape like today. Like in the last few years, I have not done that. But when I was like
Photo.
back in 2008-ish kind of thing, like after high school, I was totally staying up all night. I had a schedule. I had alarms set to when I need to start training a certain skill in
Yeah.
order to get somewhere because I was just like, I need to get this shit.
Oh my god. Sound bad.
Oh no! Wow.
I know I stayed up like 32 hours one time, but back in the day, like I would say more in my teenage years, I pull out a bunch of all-nighters, especially in summer break. Pull a
Mhm.
ton of all-nighters.
Oh yeah, not even just RuneScape
Yeah.
either. Like when I was playing Halo 2, Halo 3, and Diablo 2. Oh man, so many overnights.
I remember that used to be cool. Like staying up all night.
Stay
Now we
up
can
all night.
barely
I
do
can't.
that.
I'm
Xbox
done
party
by like
shot.
10 p.m.
Yeah.
I
What
feel
about you, Chris? What about you, Chris?
No, never.
Damn,
Never
we
pulled
got
an all-nighter.
one day we'll get you.
You got
One day.
really close with
What?
me. Remember when we were like drinking and we stayed up till like 7 in the morning, I think?
Yeah, but I usually stay up that late anyway.
Oh, true.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
your
I forgot
sleeping
his
schedule is
schedule.
really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never been awake for like 24 hours. Never.
What?
Damn.
Damn.
All right. Second
That makes
question.
sense.
Never have I ever cried after losing a game.
No.
That
No.
could be anything.
No.
Don't care enough.
Does it depend on how old you are?
No.
I was
it
pretty
doesn't.
young.
Doesn't.
No, no
'Cause I
excuses
definitely
here.
have. I definitely have. When I was a kid, bro, my
cried at
brother
a
would beat
video
my
game.
ass.
It's not video game related, but I cried to when Ash turned to stone in that Pokemon movie.
Oh my
That
god.
one got
Oh.
me. That one got me. But games, nah, I haven't.
No.
I haven't.
Yeah.
No, for anime, definitely like I've Code Geass, bro. I cried. I cried.
Yeah.
I was
Demon
just like,
Slayer.
¿Por
Like,
qué? I
literally
didn't
every
cry for Demon
episode.
Slayer. Nah, I didn't
First
cry.
time I watched JoJo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Really?
Was it good? Was it a good cry or like a sad cry? Because I feel like it would be like a good cry.
No, it was a sad
It's a
cry.
sad cry.
Oh shit.
I think me and Chris know which one it is.
I don't.
Uh,
I don't know the part.
all right, third question, and luckily enough, never have I ever dropped an anime because of the animation or art style.
I dropped an anime in the first 2 minutes.
I mean,
and
look at that,
Probably because
what
it
I'm
wasn't
wearing.
interesting.
I think I feel like I dropped Soul Eater back in the day. I
Oh,
dropped
Soul Eater's good.
because of the animation. Like I don't know why I dropped it, because I think it was like the beginning of my starting my actually watching other animes besides Naruto and the big threes. And I was like watching Soul Eater, so my friend was telling me, "Yo, it's really really good. It has a good story." And I'm watching. I'm like, "Damn, the animation is kind of like a little bit whack." But then a bunch of people told me afterwards, "Bro, what the hell is wrong with you? The story is good. Don't care about animation." And I was like, one day I'm gonna go back and watch it."
Yeah, I can't think of a anime that I dropped just because of animation or anything like that. I'm sure I have. I just like it's gone from my memory probably. Like I wouldn't be
that
surprised if I
bad.
just saw crap animation, in my opinion, depending on what the anime was. But I can't think of any. If I dropped an anime after the first episode or within the first episode, I immediately forget that it exists.
Yep. Actually.
Normally, I'll like stay away from like anime that I know have shit animation, but like I know I definitely have like dropped one, and it was Beastars. I watched like 2 episodes, and
heard about that one.
I can't do the 3D. I really can't. Like the 3D animation is just so bad.
There's a couple of that style, at least animation, that are good. There's one, I think it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's there on anymore, but it's called Ajin, if that's how you pronounce it. It's like AJIN.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of that.
That one's actually the
Ajin.
story was actually pretty interesting to me. The animation is weird. It's basically
Yeah.
like Beastars. But the story got me to stay.
Yeah, it was a whole entire. I think it was mostly CGI. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh
It-
yeah,
it was
CGI. That's
really-
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like it was like Ajin was really really good, but like the thing is like it was like the animation. But at that time, I didn't really care. Not I didn't care too much about the animation. I cared more of like how the story will unfold. All right, question number 4. Never have I ever lied or exaggerated about an accomplishment in a video game.
No, but my
I
brother
think
has.
I have. I'm pretty sure I did so in Halo. I lied about a rank, and then people saw that I was lower than that in Halo 2, and so I eventually like redeemed myself because like for dumb enough, like dumb me, I was like, oh shit, they can see the ranks. And so like after they saw, then they kind of like talk shit. There's like my friends, like I was in the drum line, we all played Halo 2, Halo 3 after like football games or whatever. And so after that, everyone saw, I was like, oh shit. So I grinded out like a month or something like that, and I ended up getting the rank. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm like a half liar, but I got it.
Wait, so now
I
it makes
lied.
sense because of your name, because you were in drum, right?
Yeah, that's
Bro,
where the like
what?
the
It
drum kind
did
of
have
Wait,
originated.
wait, wait,
definition.
wait. What did you play? What did you play? I'm judging you really
I
hard.
played all. I played fourth and second bass. I played snare and I played tenors.
Oh, you played every... My man,
Yeah.
my man, my man.
Does
I
that
played
is that
tenors.
is that is that seat? Does it have seats? I don't know if that involves seats. Like you know how like first seat is like,
Oh,
or is it the
for
wrong thing?
drumline, it's like more
Sometimes.
of like per. It's like a sectional kind of thing. There's like a section leader, and then you've got your like section
Ah,
head per. You got the bass head, you got the tenor head, and the snare head or lead or whatever you want to call it, and then you got the main drum line section leader. But you got those kind of thing.
okay.
Yo, Chris, have you ever lied about any accomplishments in video games? Because I know you. I don't think I never. I don't think you never lied about none of that your shit.
Mm, if I have, I can't think of any.
Yeah, like it's hard
'Cause I
because
probably don't.
yeah.
Uh,
All right. Another one. It'll be never have I ever lied about being a gamer.
Nah.
I
Why would you
think
lie about that?
so. So okay, I'm gonna tell you why I did lie. Cause being a gamer back then wasn't a cool thing, and for me, like middle school, I had this. I had
Say
it
it.
was me
Just say
trying to.
it.
No, no. I for me it was
But I'm sorry.
trying to fit in.
Poser.
I was just trying to fit in, and like gaming wasn't known from everybody, but I would play games a lot. I'll be doing YouTube. I'll be like joining clans. I'll be creating clans and stuff like that. And I kept that a secret from everybody, and a lot of people did not know. Like I had so many friends online. Like when Skype was so big back then, I don't know if it's as big now, but like I had like thousands of people on my Skype, just like it was awesome. But I people ask me and I just like nah, bro, I don't do that. I'm too cool for that. Mm.
I never had to lie about video games. Never like I knew genuinely I love video games, so there's no point of me lying.
Yeah, like
Not even to fit in.
I
Like
don't.
it's some. I feel like it's more like Andy was trying to say. Like when you're growing up and like you try and fit into certain type of group like you want to fit into, so you have to like kind of like keep certain things from them, and it's just
Gaming
like
has
Fuck 'em.
exploded now. Yeah, but I didn't have that mindset back then where it says fuck them. I didn't have friends
yeah.
at all, so like me trying to fit in, and like back in middle school and like when you're growing up, you're just trying to fit in and things like that. And I always wanted to fit in, and it's funny because now I I have no friends, so it's just like and it's literally fuck them, like I fuck them all. So
All right. This is a really curveball right here. Never have I ever thought a friend's baby was ugly.
Oh, I think all babies are ugly.
Facts.
thank you.
When they're born, they're all ugly.
Yes, please.
But
I
after
don't
like
know how
6 months,
women,
then
bro.
some of them get cute. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how women are just like, oh my god, so cute. It's like that's a baby alien, bro. Like, stop.
Like, do you want to hold it? No.
No, bro. Ask me in 6 months, bro. Nah, all the time, bro. I tell them they're ugly straight up. I don't care. It's the truth.
Yeah. All right. Never have I ever had road rage incident.
I live on that, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, does it have to be you having like
No,
the
yeah.
road rage or the other person? And you're
No,
just
just
kind of
have
involved.
no.
Yeah.
You
Kind
had
of
a
like, I
road
mean, I've
rage.
thrown
Yeah.
gestures, and like screamed with like the windows open or cussed someone out like that.
Oh my God.
But I've never like it's never gotten to the point where it's like gotten like out of our cars physical kind of
Oh,
thing. But I
Oh,
think a lot of people will, throw gestures and scream
Yeah.
or cuss in their car
yeah.
or something like that. But oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
yeah. No,
mean,
I'm always screaming at people.
I
This
mean,
guy.
I think the farthest I've gone is like, I used to, I, okay, I used to be like, kind of an angry, like I would get I'm a very emotional driver, I should say that. But I only get really emotional if you really fuck with me. So there would be some times where someone would fuck with me, like to the point where I was like, okay, seriously, what the fuck? And I would start like tailgating them, and I would just tailgate them for a while to try to make them mad.
Ooh.
But I
God,
don't do that anymore. I no, it's
bro,
too exhausting.
people like you, man. You have all the time in the world. I swear.
I
Now, for me,
rarely
I
did it
scream
too,
at
though.
people.
I rarely did it. I think I've only done it like twice, I think. So,
One thing that annoys me is when the light turns green and they're already honking.
Oh
Bro.
oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I'll wait a few more seconds.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, oh my
I do the
God,
good like 1, 2, 3, like yeah.
I don't even do that
I'll
for a
wait.
stop sign, but I do that at the light.
Yeah.
There's
Alright.
only, oh, I guess.
No, I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear.
There's two times where I've gotten like really mad driving, and one was because there's this long stretch of road from my house to the school when we were in school, me and Dylan together. We would take it together, and it's like 20 minutes of like, it's like a 35 mile per hour zone, right? And it's through all these neighborhoods, and there's only it's two lanes, like one going, one coming, and there's this lady who's lost or something in front, and it's like a 35-40 zone, something like it changes in between, and she went 25 the whole way, and I nobody could pass her because it is double yellow, and there's literally oncoming cars like literally all the time, and there was a line behind her so long. I was the first car behind her, and when I looked behind me, there was a line so long that I couldn't see the end of it. And if y'all have been on Belle Isle, you know, like that shit is long. Like you could see behind you.
Ew.
Like
Oh my
and
God.
I couldn't see the behind me, and that day I was furious. And then the second time was some dude like pulled out in front of me, and I had to slam my brakes so hard that I had my volume on my radio all the way up, and I could still hear the tires screeching from how hard I had to slam my brakes. And also, so I was just furious that day too.
I know. I remember back in the day when I used to work at the airport, I had this car that the AC broke, and every summer day I get off from work. Like in Florida, I swear to God, Florida, hottest, it could be the hottest day ever. And then if you don't have AC, bro, you get like mad easily. I'll be driving back home, and they had the red light, and it's the whole entire car, and then the green light comes in, and nobody's moving, and it's a lot of traffic. I'll be like, I just want to fucking. Oh my God, it's so fucking hot, and I'm sweating over here, trying to grab anything in my car and just like start freaking fanning myself. Like, oh my God, it's fucking hot, it's fucking hot. And when I get home, I'll be like, thank God, fucking AC. But my way through the whole entire home, I'll be cussing everybody. I'll be like, what the fuck? Green light, go, go.
That was Betty White, bro. You don't play with Betty White. She had some issues, but she still worked like a beauty. Okay.
All right. Next question. This question is gonna be answered based on before the pandemic, because it's never have I ever spent an entire day watching shows or movies on Netflix or other streaming service. The reason I said before the pandemic, because obviously after the pandemic we stayed a bunch of home, so we had a lot of time to do all that kind of stuff.
Um,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I used to go to like we'd have like Lord of the Rings watch parties, and we'd go through every single Lord of the Rings movie. Back then it was only the trilogy, but uh it was extended and director's cut. So it
Damn.
ends up being, and they're like long movies to begin with.
Yeah.
So it ends up being like an entire day. So I would
I
do
can't
that.
watch. I can't watch two movies in one day. I just can't.
I
There's
have
probably
That's how
one
I get
weeks where
through
I've
a lot of
stayed
my
in.
RuneScape grinds.
Oh,
True.
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 I have to be watching. This is why I do choose the methods that I can do like most chill AFK, not really paying
Same.
attention, is so I can actually distract myself. So I'm not just, losing my mind, clicking like right now, clicking the same damn NPC, which I have to do 80 something thousand times. I have to do something else.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I'm
know-
probably
yeah.
I'm probably gonna max combat, but in Nightmare Zone, and watch One Piece at the same time.
That's how you got to do it though with RuneScape. You have to multitask and watch a show or something like that. At least for me.
I know I
Same.
did. I know I got the same way with it when it comes to like grinding stuff. I'll be having on my second monitor like YouTube videos or mostly like shows on my second monitor and just watching shows while I'm grinding my way out. And then when people that's what people ask me, how do you get through the grind? I'm like, I don't know. I just get through it. I'm watching videos while I'm freaking playing.
Yeah, I don't understand how people play RuneScape. You guys heard of tick manipulation, like in the game? Basically, you manipulate every tick within a second, which I can't do it. I just can't do it. It requires 110% focus for hours on end.
Oh.
I'm just like, nah. Let me click this thing the
Bro.
least amount of times as possible, and actually somewhat be productive somewhere else at the same time.
I could barely do like blackjacking like for a
God,
long
do
amount of
that.
time. Like I can't imagine like doing tick manipulation, like 3-ticking. Like I doing that for like more than 5 minutes is just like it hurts your brain.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
even bothered to learn because that's not for me.
Yo, Drum, real quick. What method are you gonna use to get to 99 thieving?
Arty Nights, which I'm doing right now. Basically, you just click on the same NPC, and
Okay.
after a certain level, you don't fail anymore. So it's just completely relaxing.
Okay. Because I know there's like the Sorceress Garden. Have you looked at that?
I've done that in the past. It's not bad. You can actually set it up in a way where you can start at the
Yeah.
beginning and click all the way at the end and not get hit by one of the guards patrolling or whatever.
Yeah.
But someone can come in, log in the world, and mess it up, and you have to like reset it up or something like that.
Oh my
But
God.
it could definitely take a lot more attention to do that. But it's actually pretty good. It's pretty fun to stack up those juices or whatever they called to turn into the NPC to get XP and get that
You have
nice
Rocky?
big XP drop. Do what?
Do you have Rocky? the pet?
Nah,
Okay, because
unfortunate.
you know that this is Sorceress Garden is like 1 in like 6,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I forgot what I think it's the fish stalls in Relica, or so one of the stalls over there is actually one of the better rates. If you want to kind
Yeah.
of like vaguely pay attention.
It's like that and the Draenor one, right?
The farmer over there.
No, the Draenor stalls.
Oh, the stalls. Oh, it might
Yeah.
work over there. Over there, I haven't looked into it yet.
I don't know.
That's like post maxing if I want to get that pet one day.
Nice.
But
I want to say thank you so much, Ron, for hopping on today's podcast. It actually meant a lot to all of us, especially I know like getting you on this podcast was something that I really want to do because of Dylan and Chris, because they play a lot of old school RuneScape, and I thought I was like, yo, this is gonna be awesome, a good podcast episode for you guys, because it's like something that you can both bond on, and I'm really thankful for you coming on. Is there anything you want to plug?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you asking me to be on. Been fun. I mean, just look up ImaDrum, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everything. It's the same everywhere. So
We'll
you can
keep
find me
it.
there.
We'll put it down in the description. It'll be the first thing. It'll be all your links, your Reddit, your Twitch, Twitter, everything, your YouTube. So it'll be the first link at the bottom. I appreciate it, man. It was awesome. I love your voice. It's great. Weird thing to say, but I love your voice, and it was just great listening to you. You know the way you speak and you hold your, or how do you say this? Hold yourself up, or just the way you talk is awesome
Yeah.
and amazing. And yeah,
No, I
much
appreciate that.
respect. Yeah, it's awesome. I'll definitely be hopping on the stream. Just listen.
I just want to say thank you so much, everybody for watching. I hope you guys can subscribe and leave some comments and like on the video. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.